the Deputy Director General of DG FISMA, Alexandra Jour-Schroeder, has agreed to kind of close the conference, looking also again at the international dimension of digital finance and cooperation at the international level, something we've been discussing in different ways, but I think it's good to focus on that as we bring this conference to a close. Alexandra, thank you very much for being with us. Nice to see you again, this time virtually. And maybe I'll pass over to you.
Thank you very much, Nicolas. Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening. Actually, I think it has been a long day, and so it is time to close your conference, and I'm of course very happy and pleased for the opportunity to give the closing speech after these 2 days of very intense, but I have to say extremely interesting discussions. And let me start by congratulating Afore Consulting for putting together another high-level event. Well done. In my speech, I would again like to focus a bit on the international dimension of all that has been discussed during these 2 last days. And I mean, I don't have to tell you that the financial system, of course, has been global for a long time. That means that decisions taken in one place can be a change in interest rates, or even a must sell off in a particular segment of the market can really have ripple effects far away. And digitalization, of course, only reinforces that. And we also know the financial system is extremely interconnected. And that is why international cooperation has such a long and a good tradition here. And this is also why the European Union has always championed openness and collaboration in regulating finance. We do this successfully at bilateral level, but of course also we work very closely with many others in international fora. However, we believe there is still room to move up the gear. As you have been discussing across many panels at this conference, innovation, digitalization are fundamentally changing the financial systems. We have new market players, evolving asset classes, and a growing number of transactions are making it much bigger. Innovative technologies are also giving it more speed. And in the wake of new business models and products, it is actually getting harder to distinguish between one's neatly defined entities, activities, and markets. And we see that the jurisdictional borders are also becoming increasingly blurred. Finance is, if I may say so, going from global to super global. IT infrastructures are moving from large scale to hyperscale. The consequence for us is clear. Policy and regulation must reflect this. And we should not let, let's say, the complexity of the financial system again add to the complexity of our already quite complex regulatory framework. So what we should do is to focus on fundamental principles that are shared and can be shared across the globe. Diverging approaches actually would risk slowing us down in an environment and private activities that is actually moving very, very fast. So to stay in control, also regulators must adapt to this new world, and they must do it together. What I would like to do is to touch a bit on 4 or 5 elements and activities that for us in the European Commission are very important in the global context. A key area is crypto assets. We have principles here developed by the Financial Stability Board and indeed an international approach promoting convergence, which is indeed key if you want to capitalize the very good advantages crypto assets have to offer. We have used that work done with our partners at international level as the basis for our EU proposal to regulate crypto assets in the EU, as this asset class is growing. But of course, I think it is fair to say and important to say that there is still a great deal of volatility. And this can, of course, have serious implications for financial stability, investor protection, particularly given the very, I would say, high activity of retail investors in this area. And this is why we decided to move forward with the markets in crypto assets regulation, our MiCA, to provide legal certainty, but also to prevent fragmentation in the single market. Our key objectives are ones that we share with our partners on the global stage: preserving market integrity, protecting investors, and, as I said it already, safeguarding financial stability. And I really do hope that we can continue to work together in this very important area and take the international cooperation on crypto assets to the next level. Another important topic for us is digital payments in the international context. Rapid digitalization has the power to really transform payments, as we have heard in quite a number of discussions yesterday, especially. Consumers will certainly benefit from innovative, effective solutions, such as, for example, instant payments. However, our analysis showed that, let's say, at the current pace, it would take us very long, possibly more than a decade, before the market would arrive by itself at a full rollout of instant payments in the EU. Some member states are more advanced, others are not. But we need all relevant market players to swiftly move to instant payments to really facilitate full-scale network effects, unlocking all the benefits. That's why my Commissioner McGuinness, announced this morning that the Commission will come later this year with a legislative initiative on instant payments. We are determined to go as far as necessary to make instant payments a reality, because they should benefit consumers, but also merchants in the EU. And of course, these payments also have a strong international angle. That's why we are closely working with our global partners to improve existing payment rails by implementing the G20 roadmap on cross-border payments. Closely related to the issue of payments is the possible issuance of central bank digital currencies, discussed at 2 panels yesterday. Around the world, central banks are exploring this issue. And actually, a lot of policy, legal, and technical questions need to be looked at there. This is why the international work, for example, at the Bank of International Settlements and the G7 on common global principles for such digital central bank currencies is really very, very much important. As you will know, in the EU, the European Central Bank has launched a 2-year investigation into the possible introduction of a digital euro. The Commission welcomes this, and we are working closely with the European Central Bank. Digital euro, to make sense, needs to be innovative and competitive, because citizens and business needs are changing and will probably keep going on to do so, as our economy and society, especially after we have witnessed 2 years of the coronavirus, become increasingly digital. So a digital euro would have to meet these needs, offer innovative public means for both citizens and business to take care of their daily payments and go further. Subject concepts such as a decentralized finance are only beginning to point to new possibilities here. And why would we leave it only to technology firms to offer attractive payment solutions? All currencies play a big role in linking economies and underpinning trade, as you all know. Central bank digital currencies would enhance this role, possibly making payments across borders much easier, and of course also boosting market integration. That is why from the start we are making sure that the work of a possible digital euro has also an international dimension. Another topic that is really vital and important when we come at more international collaboration is the growing presence of technology firms in the financial sector. Whether big or small, technology firms are reshaping business models and value chains. This holds tremendous potential, giving customers more diverse, bespoke products and services, as well as promoting higher efficiency and lower costs. But of course, as always, with new opportunities emerge also new risks. So again, to preserve financial stability, protect investors and consumers, we need to ensure that our legislation remains fit for purpose. We in the Commission are closely working with the European supervisory authorities, whose chairpersons have provided, I found it fascinating, updates on their work and changing roles in this environment during this conference. And I don't want to repeat everything what has been said today, but we have taken the initiative to ask the three authorities some time ago how the entry of technology firms in the financial sector may affect risk. And we have now the advice, and we are looking into that, and it will certainly help us to shape our analysis and see how we can move forward. But one thing is clear. There is a greater need for supervisors to broaden their outlook, both in geographical terms and with regard to building links to other authorities. Let me come to my final point, and Rahul has just explained it very well, so there is not so much to add. I wanted to say a few words about cybersecurity. A final vital area of international cooperation. As I said it, the financial system is increasingly depending on software, digital processes. This, of course, makes it also vulnerable to cyber attacks and other IT-related risks. And to address this threat in the EU, we had to act, and therefore we proposed a framework on digital operational resilience for financial firms. And I must say, I'm very happy that we are now entering what I would call the final stretch of the negotiations with Council and Parliament to make this soon a reality. Because we want all parts and components of the financial system to have the necessary safeguards in place to mitigate cyber attacks and other risks to their digital resilience. And here again, global cooperation is key. Recognizes this, the rules we have proposed are firmly grounded and based on international practice, reflecting the principles agreed in the G7, but also aligned with the approach followed by the United States. And I also welcome that after some hesitation, the Financial Stability Board has started cooperative work on cybersecurity. One word on the role of third-party providers, an important point we also address in our proposal, as those increasingly offer ICT services such as cloud computing. Our overall objective, to be very clear, is to bring awareness and clarity. We want financial institutions to better understand and manage their dependency on these providers. And we also believe that these third country technology providers should be subject to EU level oversight. This is crucial for us to protect financial stability by guarding against failures. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a long day and I don't want to take your precious time too long, so let me conclude. I think the concrete examples I have mentioned, the points I have made, show that openness, international cooperation, and synergies are at the heart of what the EU does on digital finance. A global financial system that is becoming ever more complex and less transparent raises important questions. Deep structural changes to the financial system require a much more proactive approach from regulators. Regulators around the world are somewhat grappling with these questions. What we need to do is to cooperate at a global scale to make sure that innovation ends up serving our economies, our business, and ultimately our citizens. And this will require a step change in the way we all work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Alexandra. I think this was a very good plan to have you close the conference, because you took a job from me, which was to try and summarize some of a very rich and at times quite controversial discussion. And I think you did really well. It was as if you'd been with us for the 2 days. So I know by your Deputy Director General, it proved it one more time, how you're able to pull these themes together. I think it was a very interesting conference in that it did show the collaboration between technology and financial services companies. 5 years ago seemed more antagonistic. We see a much more collaborative ecosystem now. I think it would not surprise you, it did surprise me maybe, that we had over 800 participants over the 2 days listening to individual sessions. And I will just say to the audience, in the course of next week, we will upload all or most of the sessions. So if you want to listen to them, if you missed them, if you had your day job, you're more than welcome to kind of listen to them again or for the first time. With that, I would just really like to take 2 seconds to thank everybody. First of all, I just see kind of Alexandra was being cut out here. Alexandra, I want to thank you very much. Sorry, my technical team wanted to go home. But no, big thank you indeed. And then I think secondly, just thank the team in general. Both, first of all, the speakers. I need to thank our partners. I have to thank our own team that worked really, really hard on this. And finally, I want to thank the audience for their participation and also their many questions. Thanks to everybody. Again, Alexandra, thank you very much indeed. And hopefully see you next year for our 7th conference. Thank you.